Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our final hour. So, you
Whose
guys
final
land the
hour?
ship. My final hour of this stream, not the day. You know, this is a. Anyways,
Oh,
so
hell no.
the ship stops and lands, but before it does so, the pilots, the five pilots, swoop by in three big swoops, clearly scanning the area, looking for places that there could be like some sort of trap or some sort of this, that, the other thing.
Snipers.
Clearly running scans of your ship. You can see scans going up and down your ship or whatever. You guys obviously, there's most of things that there are some things that are like, well, we don't need them to know what cargo we have or this, that, the other thing. But you allow them to do this. You're not trying to inhibit what they're doing. You're being as open as possible.
Yeah,
Eventually,
we're showing good faith.
three of the fighters land, and the soldiers get out of there. It's one pilot gets out of each fighter, and then
Is one of them Maturian?
actually they all are.
Oh god damn it! They
Yeah.
all look alike.
And then the ship lands, and it lands then. Now, one of the important things to note is that those fighters you're very familiar with, Tremi and Cracks are very familiar with. Everybody else don't even worry about rolling. But those ships are designed, the fighter ones are designed to have two pilots in it. So if one person's getting out, that's meant to be the person on the ground, whereas somebody else is still there able to man the ship. Okay? They do power off their fighters, though, because there are two fighters that are still overhead flying around, doing their zoom back and forth. The frigate does land, and this thing just looks incredible. Oh my god, talk about a luxury vessel. I mean, just the incredibly sleek design that they have to it. As we were saying before, it's a combination of Volus and Taurian design. The incredible sleek design to it, the color of the steel, it's like gunmetal, but it's like smooth. You know what I mean by gunmetal? It's super dark gray that has a slight reflectiveness to it. It is very soothing to look at. It's like so deep, like you're staring into it, and there's like a world within the reflection itself. It is absolutely beautiful. The color that's in front of you, the design of the thing, it's like it's so nice. However, you're looking at the thing like, is there even a gun on that? You can see near the back where there's like flare releases and stuff like that, things that are clearly meant for self-defense. You can see on the belly of the ship, the Guardian on it is one of the biggest Guardian systems that you've seen on a ship so small, but not a single weapon on it. Other than that, though, it is gorgeous on the outside. So the three Taurians that kind of came down, they make their way over to the five of you, because Tremi stays on the ship, Steve is out there with you. So they make their way over to the five of you, and the Taurians kind of like looking you up and down and kind of checking each one of you out. And finally, one of them says to you guys, "Who's doing the talking?"
That would be me. The name's Cattle Olan.
I thought Winnie was.
Well, Cattle, why don't you come with us? And one of the Taurians is going to stay with the other four of you, and two of them are going to walk forward with Cattle. So you're going to walk forward with the two of them, and you're going to go most of the way, about 3/4 of the way, and the gap between your ship and where their ship landed is about 300 meters, right? So you're going to go 3/4 of the way, so a little over 200 meters over there, and finally the ship opens up, and you do see two more Taurians walk out with weapons there. Then you see a Volus walk out with two more Taurians behind him. Clearly prefers that race for one reason or another. As there's now 6 guards between the two of you guys, 2 behind you, 2 standing on either side of you and the Volus as you meet one another, and 2 behind that Volus, all around you as you're meeting with him. So,
Well, people were concerned that I might murder him. I don't think you have to be.
so as you go walking up, and you go walking up to see the Volus. I forgot to mention this beforehand. Tremi would have given you guys her hub with her own communique, because this is like such a lower tech one that's something that's not easily hacked into. She obviously would have given one to Cattle. She obviously would have given one to Entree and one to Winnie. And I imagine the last one to Cracks.
I imagine mine would be on broadcast by default, so that the other people could listen in.
Okay, sure. And so there's constant static coming in that way, which makes any other communication a little bit more difficult to hear. But you guys are always hearing what's being said over there. But anyways, she will say as he's approaching the communication, as him and the Volus are about to speak, she would say, I did identify which one is the Taurian. Am I sending him that message now or waiting?
waiting.
Okay.
I would have told her that it's a if shit goes south thing. Like, if everything goes fine, there's no need to call him off.
Okay. So you say waiting, and it's because you guys are wearing helmets or whatever. You don't have to worry about like, oh, somebody heard me say it. So you make your way over to the Volus, and he's going to link his communications with your suit. But once again, because you're not dealing with person to person, you're dealing with in communique. I don't have to worry about the anymore. So just the Volus. You go up to him and he says, "Greetings, glorious Rust Bucket clan."
It's the glorious Scrapper, but sure.
Glorious Scrapper clan, whatever.
Greetings. My name is Calo Olan. I am already familiar with yours, as you can probably imagine.
As I am with yours.
I am the understanding that you were looking for some information that's got out of your grasp. And I might be able to help you with that.
You're talking about what's her last name again? Shit. I have it. Fuck. I forgot to load up her character.
One day.
You're talking about Winnie Jun.
Correct.
I don't care much about Winnie Jun anymore. The information that I needed, she's already passed on. I've already heard it.
I see. Would it not help you to know where you might be able to retrieve it anyway?
I already know
as far as I've
where
heard,
it is. It was the reason why I was excommunicated, the reason why I was banished, and the reason why I'm being hunted. Were you hired?
They have tried it. I have no intention, as you can clearly see.
I can't clearly see that. I know that you've been working for the Blue Suns.
If I had any intention of murdering you, would I have walked up to you surrounded by 6 guards?
Yes, because you wouldn't have expected this many guards.
Cattle just makes his face like, I probably would have, but, you know. He doesn't seem very impressed with the amount of guards or anything. He basically be like, yeah, this is just...
You came to me for a reason. Whether if you intended to kill me or not, you decided along the way that there might be another opportunity here. Because that's who you are. An opportunist. So, let's make an opportunity for you, Cattle.
I am listening.
I know of the deal that you made with the humans when you crossed them and actually made the deal with the Blue Suns, taking the profits from both sides. And I know that's something you're interested in doing now. I don't want to be dead. But I understand that I need to be so that you can make your money and win your favors. And so, my ship will be destroyed. And you'll return. And you'll make your money. And I'm fine with that. It's not from my coffers, it's from someone else's. And I will live. You will lie. You will tell them that I am dead. What do you get in return? Aside from money with a clean conscience. Not that I think that that's a concern of yours. What you get in return is another job. A job that pays better. A job that will perhaps align you with things that are more important in this galaxy. Do you know who it was that I worked for?
I know of the image you go by, but not of the name itself.
So perhaps you've heard the name Cerberus before.
Human mythology. How interesting. I guess that would explain a few things.
The human mythology you're referring to? The Hound at the Gate? Hound at the Gate indeed. Do you know much about the humans' mass relay?
Not specifically.
You know its name?
I know that they uncovered it. The Charon relay?
Hmm. Do you know the story of that in human mythology?
Roughly. I know bits of their mythology, although some bits are still lacking.
Well, these people like to think that they're poetic. They name the relay Charon, the guardian of the river, the boatman who crosses them into the beyond. Well, then they have, across that river, their guardian. They have their Cerberus. Well, the Cerberus is their guard. It's the one that's supposed to keep the evil, the wicked, keep them from the world of the living, how they see themselves. And they've set themselves up well. They have a base. And in that base, now they have a weapon. A weapon that you found and gave to them. A weapon that they've been working on. Working on to attack any vessels, soon to be non-human vessels, that come through that relay, allowing them to eliminate any opposition that might stand in the way of their cause.
I see.
The only vessels that were able to resist this weapon were Volus vessels and Quarian vessels. The makeup, the design of our frameworks were different. Our atmospheres are different, and so we were resistant. Unfortunately, I was foolish enough to send a Quarian in close enough quarters to the weapon, and it's likely learned how to overcome their framework. Tell me, is that what happened? Was it able to attack the suit?
She resisted.
But it learns. Who's to say there weren't other Quarians that have been used now to complete the math, to make it so it functions?
That is a fair assumption to make.
It's a small splinter, a very small splinter of the Alliance military. They call themselves Cerberus because they hold themselves up at the Cerberus base. You're about to gain a big favor of them. They're about to love you. But superficially, you understand, Cerberus serves one people only. Humans only. But they're willing to make deals. I was stupid enough to listen, as were my partners. Stupid enough to listen. And so we went along with their deals. I realized things. I tried to get away. They didn't realize these things and just saw me being as a coward and trying to take profits and run. And now they hunt me down. They are his hounds. We were the three heads. But now there's only two. And the one that holds the leash, he's cunning. And he's vicious.
Right. So what is it that they want from me, in this case?
What they want from you is to kill me to pay you for a job well done. What I want from you is to use that success to garner friendship, to find your way into their base and destroy it. I'll pay you
Sounds like a
handsomely.
fun time.
I'll pay you extremely handsomely. This is my life. My life is forfeit until they are gone. My life is forfeit forever until they are gone. I'm willing to pay each one of you. You have a pilot and looking across the way. 5 of you total, so 6 of you total. 6 million credits. 6 million credits if the base is destroyed. And if you die, that'll go on to whatever beneficiary you choose. I could have paperwork drafted up. That doesn't bother me.
That sounds good.
Not curious how you're going to destroy the base?
I'm sure our Krogan has some ideas on that, but any suggestions, of course, are most welcome.
The
You
base is
have, of course, had dealings with them before.
the base is underground at their furthest most celestial body that orbits their sun. The once planet they call Pluto. It is underground there. That way it can always be nearby to the relay. That way it can always broadcast that signal and kill anything that comes through the relay. The base itself needs to be destroyed. As I said, this is a once before believed to be planet. It is not. It is a hunk of ice. And as a hunk of ice, it can be melted, lose its integrity, and crack. There are spikes. They're designed for drilling. Spikes that are used to superheat areas to make them malleable enough to get through. I have not been able to procure these spikes yet. It's the reason why I'm here. These spikes are how it is that Omega Station is able to do its mining despite the hard core that it has to drill through to get to the EZO. You need to procure these spikes from Omega. I'm willing to give you 500,000 credits now, immediately, to procure those. Use those
I'm
as
sure
a
we can
bargaining
make that
chip.
happen.
I don't know if it's enough money to cover it, but I'm sure it's at least enough money to get somebody listening.
I can reach out to some connections.
Do you understand your part in this?
I do.
Do you have any questions for me?
I think most of the questions have been answered for now.
Then understand this. And he says your full name, but Katawalan, it says your full name. If you cross me, then you will not live. If you cross me, every asset that I have will be opened to ending you. You have an opportunity to serve everyone in the galaxy, an opportunity to right my wrongs and yours and those that you choose to spend your time with. If you choose to make all of us go down as villains in the galactic history because you decide to find another opportunity that might pay you 2 or 3 credits more, you will not live long enough to enjoy even one of those credits.
Understood.
Very well then, Katawalan. 500,000 credits, he says, and he hands them to you.
Neat.
Do not do those until you're done making friends with the Blue Suns. They don't need to know what you're procuring. They don't need to know what you have on your ship. Do that afterwards.
All right.
And so with that, he's actually going to go back onto his ship with the all but the 2 soldiers that are with you. And the 2 soldiers that are with you are kind of like turning and walking away with you. One of them is going to say, you'll get the order. You'll get the command when it is that you're supposed to attack the ship. He'll be nice and safe. He'll be free from any harm when it happens. This is one of the Taurians telling you. You walk back to your crew. And after you do that, the 3 Taurians just kind of like stand there with their guns in their hands, waiting for you guys to get back on your own ship.
I just gesture to the ship and like, shall we? And I walk onto the ship.
So everybody makes their way back into the ship. Steve's kind of like, Winnie, I thought they were supposed to talk to you.
I'll pat
strange.
Winnie on the back and just be like, see, I told you.
Nothing bad happened at all.
Right, but we weren't aware of any of it.
I had it on broadcast the entire
We
time.
all heard
You
No.
would have been able to get at
No.
least half of it.
But it was my suggestion that somebody else go instead. And you said, no, we weren't going to do that.
Cattle often puts his own twist on plans that I do not necessarily agree with, but it all seemed to work out in the end.
It's not a twist, it's a lie.
Plans change.
So
Same, but different.
the only person that hasn't heard anything is
But still
Steve,
the
of
same.
course, who's just completely perplexed. You guys get back onto your ship, and when you do so, they get back onto their fighters as well, and the fighters take off, and once again are scanning and making sure that everything's safe and da-da-da-da. They eventually take off and leave orbit, or whatever. You guys take off to leave orbit. Tremi is like, because knowing you guys are going to call a team meeting, Tremi is just like on her own thing. Like, hey, do that on the bridge. I want to hear this.
Don't worry, you'll be involved.
Okay. So you guys make your way to the bridge to have your chat as you're like doing your own taking off and preparing for the next step of the plan, because obviously you need to talk before that. So, go ahead.
Yeah.
Take it away, Cattle. Or anybody else.
As soon as everyone's here, I'm like, see, that wasn't so bad. He just grins.
We could have avoided the whole conversation if you had just started with you doing that.
I was under the assumption that we were going to end up killing him. We're still going to, but also not.
We get the subterfuge. You're very clever.
We're
But it
going
wasn't
to
your
blow-
idea. So you're not very
It's-
clever.
Look,
Andre nods
We
like
came-
that was the subtle point.
Callow just sits there for a moment, is like, really? Plans change, Winnie. Plans change.
If you set a plan in concrete, then it'll be so easy to move around.
Anyway, I suppose you are all interested in hearing what I've decided with the gentleman.
You want us to go onto a human base and blow it up. So I have mixed feelings about this. Destroying a base full of humans that apparently want to kill all of us sounds wonderful. Going onto a base full of humans that apparently want to kill all of us does not sound very nice.
There are
Using
ways.
Mining spikes from Omega, it might not require you to at least have any communications with any humans.
I don't mind getting mining spikes. I just mind getting the She kind of like leaves it alone. Like she starts to. It's one of those like she doesn't even have an argument, and she knows she doesn't have an argument, but because Entourage said something, she just wants to.
She just wants to
Entourage,
argue. Yeah.
and then she's just like, "Oh, it's just not even worth it." She's growing. Oh.
So we are going to get a certain time and location where this guy's ship will be there, but he will be safe. We blow up his ship. We go back to the Citadel. We tell them that our mission has been a success. We blew up the ship. He is dead. And we get paid. Afterwards, we get ourselves a mining spike. Then we make our way to the Charon relay. I imagine with Winnie's help, we should be able to fight off that virus if they decide to use it. And then we melt an ice planet.
Inferred in this is that that the Cerberus organization is using the Blue Suns to at least do some of their operations, so we may actually find out a Cerberus contact that means we might be able to travel to the Charon relay there without having all of the air sucked out of the ship.
We might be able to
mercenaries.
inquire at the Blue Suns whether they have any passengers that need to go to the Charon relay.
No, you don't get what I'm trying to say. Cerberus, the Blue Suns work for Cerberus, whether they know it or not. The implication. So by doing this, Cerberus will either contact us, or we can try to find a Cerberus contact that'll allow us there freely, as a passenger or as patient.
That is true. We are essentially taking care of one of their three honchos right now.
You make
that has.
made a good point. It wasn't clear. He said that he understood they were the three heads of this dog thing, being held by a leash or whatever. But he didn't say that the other two knew that.
No.
Every businessman is a slave to another businessman. They usually don't think they are.
But it's just I wonder if I'm sure they understand their dealings, but I wonder if they understand who their dealings are with.
According to the Volus I spoke with, they have no idea. The person pulling the strings is a most charismatic figure.
I mean, and I don't even know if we could just inform them with or without evidence, because it sounds like these three business partners, two of them turned on the one once given the command to do so. So it makes you wonder if they were even made aware of what it was that they were doing or who it was that they were serving. Would they even be willing to turn it?
They might be loyal.
They might be loyal. They might be unknowingly working towards his goals. Whatever the case, to their eyes, it will seem like we chased down one of the people. That it's basically, to their eyes, cut and run with the profits.
All right. Are we going to pretend to kill some people now?
Once we get the time and location where the vessel will be, we should have little difficulty taking an immobile husk out.
So, you guys, unless there's anything else that somebody wants to say, Cracks, Winnie, or anything?
No, Crux is good.
Okay. Do you guys cue in Steve on any of the plans whatsoever?
Hell no.
We're probably going to offer to drop him back off at Omega.
But do you cue him in on any part of the plan whatsoever?
No!
We want to let him know that we're not actually killing his friend.
You should.
We never mentioned we were going to kill his friend.
He's going to watch you blow up a ship.
He's gonna
Yeah,
watch
he's gonna-
it blow him up, and then he's gonna freak. But if we tell him that he's not actually dead, that ruins everything.
Yeah, that's true. We can always airlock
he
him.
doesn't have to
but,
watch us.
No.
Can't we just knock him out?
Or I can have him otherwise distracted.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like.
Are you going to melt with him? Jesus Christ, Andre, keep
Melt
it in
with
your
him
pants.
for a couple of hours while you blow up the
Listen,
ship.
listen.
He
I'd
won't
rather have
notice.
Andre trying to sleep with everything than Cal trying to kill everything. Okay.
I-
Yeah, options.
Yeah. Don't kink shame. Don't kink shame. She's
Imagine
allowed
how much
to.
worse it would have been if I played an Asari who actually was like a sex bucket.
There's nothing wrong with promiscuity. However, murder is very bad.
It all depends on the person you ask.
He's just offering it as a
We're not
way
even
to
murdering.
make
We're
it
just
so-
blowing up we're blowing up a ship.
But
No,
not
you
from
talked about
his
airlocking
perspective.
him.
He
Ted
won't know
murdering, it's fine.
anything that happens until we get back to Omega if you just let me space bang him.
All right. Do
He
that.
won't notice that we blew up a ship. The ship will rock and he'll just think that's the waves of pleasure.
Oh, jeez.
You know,
Oh.
the motion of the oceans.
Okay.
It's an idea.
So, Ollie, you want to meld with the young man.
And unless there's a better idea.
There isn't.
There is. Absolutely. So knowing that this is going to happen at some point in your next hours, yeah, I mean, I'd be very friendly with Steve. Nice. And I also would have treated him for his hangover with like high-end medical equipment.
Coffee.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and.
Okay. I suppose to convince him, roll me a talk charisma 2
+2 or just 2?
+2.
Nice.
Nice.
He's ready and willing.